We just got one, man. Miami Hurricanes land one of the top running backs in the class of 2025. He's going to be bringing a combination of speed and power into the 305. Girard Pringle, welcome to the U.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I am Alex Donno, and bringing you an emergency weekend episode because the Hurricanes just got a verbal pledge from one of the top running backs in the class of 2025, four-star. He's the 13th rated running back in the class, 5'10", 185 pounds, from Armwood High School in Seffner, Florida, an excellent program in the Tampa area. Girard Pringle is coming to Miami. Now, this is a big get for Matt Merritt. Kudos to him. The new Miami running backs coach has been in contact with Pringle even since before he arrived at Miami. This is a player that Merritt was recruiting heavily to USF before he arrived at the U, and he's able to get that verbal pledge from Pringle. Now, Pringle, 1,600, almost 1,700 yards this past season as a junior. Remember, he's heading into his senior year of high school this coming year. Had a huge game against one of the top teams on their schedule, Venice, last year. I think he ran for like 300 yards in that game. And a couple of things to me that really stand out about Pringle. Folks, it's not just the power and the ability to run between the tackles. That clearly stands out on film. You're not going to tackle this young man in the first contact. He's going to bowl through a lot of that. He's also shifty. He cuts very well. But once he gets to that second level, you're not going to catch this young man from behind. Again, if you're talking about the stats that Pringle puts up on the football field and on the track, Girard Pringle has a verified 10.56 in a 100-meter dash. That's some lightning speed right there, okay? And that's something that I've really enjoyed, this common theme in these last few recruiting cycles with Miami's running back recruiting. Tim Harris obviously did an excellent job, and we're already seeing that continuing under Matt Merritt, because in the class of 2023, Miami brings in Christopher Johnson Jr., who's a track star with an insane 100-meter time, very, very quick on the football field. Chris Johnson, who I think in his second year now at the U is really going to burst onto the scene this year. In the class of 2024, Miami brings in another guy with great track speed in Chris Wheatley-Humphrey from South Broward. And then for a third straight cycle, Girard Pringle comes in with blazing speed as well. So I think he's going to be an excellent addition to this running back room. And so if you look at, again, he's the, I believe, the 13th rated running back in the class of 2025, according to 24/7 Sports. The teams Miami had to beat out here to get Pringle's verbal pledge include Georgia and Alabama. He was a priority target for the Georgia Bulldogs out there, according to their recruiting sites. So this is a huge one for Miami. Pringle was just down in South Florida for another visit. And so Miami's recruiting class now, you got 5 verbal commits. Pringle's actually the highest rated out of those as a high 4-star guy. I think the next highest rated is Waden Charles, the wide receiver. So Miami's got 5 verbal commits right now for the class of 2025. They have the 19th rated class in the country, which, considering the low quantity of verbal commits so far, is actually a pretty good ranking. And I think the Hurricanes, within the coming weeks now, after some productive spring visits so far, and spring football is still going on, I think you're going to see Miami land a handful of really good players in the coming weeks for that class of 2025. You had some really important visitors that were around this weekend for the scrimmage on Saturday. Just a few of those that stood out to me. Chris Ewald, the defensive back, cornerback out of Chaminade, Madonna. He's someone who's been crystal balled to Miami before, and I think Miami's in a good position for him. Also saw a couple of the most important receivers in the class. Jamie French was in town. Miami's going to try to start trending up for him a little bit more. They might have fallen a little bit behind there. He's a 5-star. And 4-star Dallas Wilson, who I think is someone Miami is definitely trending up for in recent weeks. He's an Oregon Ducks commit, but he lives in the Tampa area. and Miami is really starting to try to turn that one around, and Dallas Wilson has been on campus a lot. So some top players have been visiting the U. Miami just got a verbal pledge from one of them. And again, folks, I think Girard Pringle is going to be an awesome addition to Miami's backfield. I can't really look at one thing and say this is his specialty, because he is powerful, he is fast, he is shifty, he's got moves, he's got spin moves, he's got cuts. Welcome to the U, Girard Pringle. And I saw this stat, I think it was Brad Tejeda who put this stat out, that Armwood High School in Seffner, which is where Miami's getting Pringle from, Miami hasn't landed a player from that high school since 1987. I don't know if that's probably Gator territory. It's either Gator territory, Seminole territory, or both. But Pringle, he's joining the good guys. He is bringing his talents to the 305. My friends, you want to smash that like button and subscribe if you're watching us on Locked On Canes YouTube. As you can see, I'm not in my studio element today. I'm enjoying a little spring vacation. We will have an episode coming up tomorrow, early Monday morning, before week 3 of spring football gets started. So smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and check out more Locked On Canes right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.